Haunted wall revelation. When I first moved into my new apartment, I thought the stain on the living room wall was just an unfortunate consequence of water damage. It was a misshapen blotch, fading from beige to an unsettling shade of gray. Over the weeks, I noticed it shifting, as if darkening or growing more defined. I assumed it was just my imagination until one evening while watching TV, I caught a glimpse of it in the lamplight. The stain had taken on a disturbingly familiar outline, an almost human face staring back at me from the wall. I shrugged it off, chalking it up to pareidolia, but I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. A few days later, while sorting through some old family albums, a chill ran down my spine. In one of the faded photographs, I saw the same face that now haunted my wall. It was my great-grandfather, a man I had never met, but whose stories were told in hushed tones at family gatherings. He had a reputation for being a tyrant, a shadow that loomed over my childhood, even in his absence. That night, I dreamt of him standing at the foot of my bed, his eyes filled with a malevolence that left me gasping for air when I awoke. The stain seemed darker the next morning, the features more pronounced. It was late one evening when I heard a soft, rhythmic tapping coming from the wall. I pressed my ear to the cold plaster, straining to hear. The tapping grew louder, more insistent, and then stopped abruptly. I stepped back, heart pounding, and watched in horror as the face on the wall seemed to shift, its eyes narrowing as if aware of my fear. The air in the room grew cold, and I felt a presence, so tangible it was suffocating. I realized then that this was something far more sinister than a mere stain. It was a manifestation, a bridge to something I dared not comprehend. Desperate to rid myself of the haunting, I called in a contractor to repaint the wall. As he scraped away the old layers, he paused, staring at something beneath the surface. "There's something here," he muttered, prying at the plaster. My heart sank as he revealed a hidden cavity, and within it a small sealed box. Trembling, I opened it to find a collection of old letters and photographs, each bearing my great-grandfather's unmistakable scowl. The last letter addressed to me was dated the day I was born. It was a curse, a binding that promised his return through the bloodline. As I read the final words, the room plunged into darkness, and I felt a hand, cold and familiar, grip my shoulder.